Hi guys, in today's video we're going to be learning to use column sums for multiplication. However, this is part 2 of this particular video pair, and in this video we're going to be looking at how to multiply two numbers when both of them are double-digit numbers. Now, because of that, it's really important that you already have a very good grounding in how to multiply by single-digit numbers. So if you haven't had a good look at that just yet, if you're not particularly confident with that, make sure you go back and watch that video first. Make sure you've got a really good understanding of it. But if you do, multiplying by two-digit numbers is the next logical step. So let's have a look at this. So looking at this sum here, we've got two-digit numbers, and both of them are made up of a 10 and a unit. So we've got 28, and we're going to multiply it by 35. Now, an important thing here is to at least try to visualize what that's actually going to look like. You're taking 28, which is already a fairly big number, and you're making that 35 times bigger. You're going to end up with really quite a big number. So we are certainly also going to be needing our hundreds column, and in most cases, when you're doing a two-digit by two-digit multiplication example, you will often also need a thousands column. So I'm going to put all that in just so we're preparing ourselves for it. And we'll put our equal sign there, and we're ready to go. Now, to start off with, we are basically going to ignore the 3 in the tens column there. We're not going to worry about it at all to begin with. Forget it exists. As far as you're concerned, for the first part of this calculation, we are doing 5 times 8, and then we're doing 5 times 2. We treat it like a single-digit multiplication sum. So that's exactly how we're going to begin here. So starting off, 5 times 8, that's 40. So 40 is 4 tens and 0 units. The 0 units can stay. The 4 tens can go in the shelf of the next column. Next, we have 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10, but we have to remember to add that 4 on as well. So we're not going to get 10, we're going to get 14. Now, I could go, the 4 can stay, the 1 goes on the shelf. However, considering there's nothing else to add it to, I'm just going to put it straight into the hundreds column. So 5 times 28 is 140. Next up, and this is where things change a little bit. What we're going to do next is we're going to do 3 times the two top numbers. So we're going to do 3 times 8, always working from right to left, 3 times 8, and then 3 times 2. However, this here is not a 3. It's in the tens column. That number is not 3, it's actually 30. And so our answer needs to be made 10 times bigger than multiplying by 3. Now we can do that, we can make it 10 times bigger by starting this row with a 0. That is going to shift all the numbers in our answer up by 1 place so that our answer is 10 times bigger than just multiplying by 3 alone. Okay, so that way we're multiplying by 30. So we always start our second row. If there's two numbers, second number here, our second row starts with a 0. So, starting up here, we're going to do 3 times 8. 3 times 8 is 24. The 4 can stay, and the 2 goes on the shelf of the next column. Next, we've done 3 times 8, so we're going to do 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. But I have to add that 2 on as well. So 6 plus 2, 8. There we go. Now, what I've got is 2 separate answers. One of them is from doing 28 times 5. The other is from doing 28 times 30. To get the total answer, what I need to do is I need to add them together. Now, we have already added on any numbers that we carried, any numbers that were on the shelf, any numbers we exchanged. So these and these, we're not going to add them. Forget about them, you've dealt with them. They're done, they're finished. If you're really confused by it, score them out if you want, once you've added them on. But we are only going to add the units, the tens, and the hundreds, in this case. So our answer then, 0 plus 0. Well, that is 0. 4 plus 4, well, that is 8. And we have 1 plus 8, and that's 9. And so we have our answer then, 28 times 35 is 980. Now, if you got a number that was only, I don't know, 100 and something, you know that you've gone wrong. Always do a sense check of your working to see if it just makes sense at a first look analysis. Let's look at another example here. Okay, so this one, same as before, tens and units, and we have 47 times 53. And in this case, I'm going to assume we're going to need hundreds, and even though we didn't need thousands last time, I think we probably will this time. So our working, just like before, we start pretending it's just a single digit multiplication sum, and we're going to do 3 times 7. 3 times 7 is 21, the unit goes down, the 10 goes on the shelf. There's our 21. Next, we do 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12, but we add on the 2. 12 plus 2 is 14. There's our 14. Next line of working. Now this, we're going to be multiplying by 5 now. We're going to be doing 5 times 7. But remember, this is not a 5. It is in the tens column. Therefore, we need to make our answer 10 times bigger because we're actually multiplying by 50. So I'm going to put a 0 here. And we're going to do 50 times 7. Well, 5 times 7 is 35. So here we go. I can put the 5 down and the 3 goes on the shelf. But if we think about this, if 5 times 7 is 35, well, 50 times 7 is going to be 350, isn't it? So we can see that our answer is making sense already. Next up, we've just done 5 times 7, so we're going to work along, always working right to left, and we do 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20, but I need to add on that 3, so I'm going to get the answer 23. Now the final step. I've worked out what 47 times 3 is. I've worked out what 47 times 50 is. To get my final answer, I need to make sure that I add them both together, but ignoring any numbers that were on the shelf. So, 1 plus 0, 1. 4 plus 5, that's 9. 1 plus 3, that's 4. And 0 plus 2, that's 2. And so we get our answer, 2,491. So that's it, guys. And the most important thing to remember is when you start your second line of working, you must begin it with a 0. Always remember to carry any numbers or exchange any numbers, put them on the shelf, but then do not add them on to your final answer at the bottom. So, final examples here. If you want to, you can work through these in your own time. I've tried to choose deliberately not too challenging times tables. We've got 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5 times tables. So pause the video just now, have a wee work through these at your leisure, and then when you're ready, unpause the video and I'll reveal the answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there you have it, guys. Those are the answers. So hopefully you got them right. If not, have a close look at them, try to figure out where you went wrong, and if you really can't, try working through it again and see if you can get the right answer. But there you go. That is how to use column sums for multiplication, and you've also been looking at how to exchange or carry whenever you need to. Cheers, guys!